Now we have meteorologist Lucy Dahl with us. And Lucy, you've been watching Idalia and it went from Category 4 to Category 3 not too long ago.
Yes, it just got downgraded at the 6 a.m. update, but over the last 24 hours, the storm has rapidly intensified. It went from Category 1 at this time yesterday to Category 4 before being downgraded back to Category 3. Here's a look at the current loop as Idalia works its way closer inland, making landfall shortly here. That eye wall riding right up against the coast. Landfall is likely imminent within the next, honestly, 30 minutes. The storm is booking it. It is making its way off towards the north-northeast at 18 miles per hour. Winds currently sustained around that eye wall at 125 miles per hour. The eye wall, again, is where the strongest winds with that storm is located. If we get a zoomed in look here, we're starting to see that area of rotation push all the way inland. The National Hurricane Center identifies landfall as when the entire eye wall is within the land. So when it makes its way into the coast here. So that is likely going to be within the next few minutes as the leading edge of that eye wall is pushing near Perry. Storm surge also across most of the coast here going to be impacting a large portion of Florida, as well as tornadoes possible within the outer rain bands. The storm will continue to make its way off towards the northeast, keeping Category 2 strength as it moves into Georgia before being pushed back out into the open Atlantic. It'll be riding along the eastern coast of the United States, but as it takes this turn back out to sea, that is thanks to high pressure that's building over us here closer to home in the Sunflower State. That bubble of high pressure keeping the tropics at bay, but also helping us warm up as we look towards the weekend. This high is going to be settling in right over us as we look towards Friday, moving slightly off towards the east by the end of the weekend on Sunday, but not before we see temperatures cook under its influence. High pressure pushes air back down towards the surface. As it starts to compress, that's when it heats up, and that's what leads to us to see temperatures back towards 100 degrees as we move towards Saturday and Sunday. But also this high pressure system is bringing smoke back into the plains as it's being influenced from those wildfires up in Canada. Winds moving clockwise around that high pressure system, bringing in the heavier bands of smoke across the northern half of the plains. But for us closer to home, we are starting to see the influence of that hazy conditions hanging out in our atmosphere. That's going to lead to more brilliant sunrises and sunsets, but also causing air quality impacts, especially for those of us with respiratory issues. Today is not going to be the best day to spend some time outside. The thickest bands of smoke staying off in northeastern Kansas currently, but we are seeing that impact now start to push off towards more of the south central portion of the state as we move towards this afternoon. And here's a look in Salina. No, those aren't clouds you're seeing. That's the wildfire smoke creating that hazy atmosphere as the sun starts to rise. This is kind of what we're going to be seeing today, just this gloomy conditions, not from the clouds, but because of the dust particles in our atmosphere. Temperatures won't be impacted much by that, though. We're holding on to the 60s for most, 66 in Wichita, 64 in Salina, 60 in Great Bend, 62 in Pratt, a little bit cooler as you look off towards the west, 57 currently in Goodland, 56 in Garden City. Temperatures will slowly warm up over the next few days. Our highs this afternoon going to be in the low 90s across the region, but we are seeing the southerly flow build back in. As winds pick up as we look towards tomorrow, that's going to help clear out some of that smoke that's been hanging out in our skies, but also going to help us really start to warm up. We hold on to the low 90s for Thursday, but by Friday, that's when we see temperatures take a turn. 96 degrees expected, and then we're pushing towards 100 degrees for Labor Day on Monday. Definitely going to be a warm 3-day weekend here closer to home, especially when you consider our average for this time of year in those upper 80s. And unfortunately, we're not looking at much in terms of rain chances for the next 7 days. The sun will be out and shining, not much in terms of cloud cover either. We're pushing towards 99 on Sunday, 100 on Monday, before we settle back into the upper 90s by Tuesday of next week. For us here in north central Kansas, 92 today and 98 by Friday. 100 degrees, painting the weekend very warm, falling back into the upper 90s by the beginning of next week. And not much chance of rain over the next 7 days, even for southwest Kansas. 94 expected by Thursday, 100 Saturday and on Sunday, 98 on Monday before we settle back down into the mid-90s for the rest of next week. Northwest Kansas, 92 today, 98 on Friday, 100 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Monday night into Tuesday, that's when we see a very brief shot of moisture trying to move into northwest Kansas through the overnight, pushing us back into the 90s by Tuesday. Keep it here. We'll be right back after the break.